Good morning, everyone!
Good morning.
Here we are, back on the couch, living the dream, flying to new places. No one's stopping us. How are you? You alright?
Yeah.
Thanks for popping by. Thanks for being on the show again.
Thanks for having me.
It's alright, it's alright. What's new then? Just ran off.
I got measurement fitting today for Cinderella over Zoom.
Which I'm helping out with.
You are.
Yeah? What time is it again?
1.
1. I feel the pressure for that. Edgar! I feel I'm just gonna shut that door. So then if he's up messing about, at least he can't hear it. Get off that wire! Edgar, stop it. Okay. I'm living with a lion.
Okay.
Back. Which I've got help out with.
Yeah.
Which is quite scary because I don't know, like, well, not to measure stuff, but it's like your costume.
Yeah.
If I get it wrong and you get there, it's like too short.
Yeah, I was blaming.
It's funny at the moment because people are getting measured for costumes like, well, Frozen and Cinderella. And I've seen a couple of tweets by like Frozen actors saying they've been to their costume fitting and like they've like done a hashtag like extra inch please.
Brilliant.
I think because of lockdown, I think people are like, you know, you can go into your costume fitting and be a bit bigger than you was 6 months ago.
But I also think that everyone's just used to wearing like big baggy clothing at home because everyone's wearing like their trackies and their like, or their active wear or like big, you know, comfy stuff that you wear at home. So I think it's been a while since any of us have like put on a costume where everything's got to be like tight fitting or like a corset or something like that. So I think our bodies have also just gotten used to hanging out.
So today, got a lovely email from someone called Amelia. Amelia Henriksen. Lovely name. And they're talking about dressing rooms. And the dressing room thing. And they've asked a couple of questions about dressing rooms. Saying, do you choose who you are sharing a dressing room with? If not, who decides what the dressing room situation is? And I think a lot of people don't know how this is sort of decided. And also, it's sort of decided as the contracts are signed.
Yeah, it's decided long before you ever get into the theatre.
Yeah. And the final question of this, have you ever been in a dressing room where you don't get along with the person you're sharing with? Ooh, spill that tea. So first off, do you get to choose who you are sharing a dressing room with?
No.
No, is the answer. So in your contracts, as a lead, it might say in your contract, I want my own dressing room. But how it works is, there's billing. You know when you go outside of a big theatre and you see like the cast, and at the top it might have your Jeremy Jordan. And then it might be like Jeremy Jordan and Carrie Fletcher on the same line.
It's usually whoever's playing like the lead.
Yeah, but then after that, it might have Oliver Ormson, Rob Houchen, Scott Page on the line below.
I'm really enjoying this class.
Yeah, and then just below that, it might have Celinda and Emma Kingston.
Yeah.
And then below that, it'll have the full ensemble.
Yeah.
So that is how it's billed. So
yeah, that's called the billing.
That's called the billing, but this is important when it comes to dressing rooms because say our top bills were you and Jeremy Jordan, you will both have your own dressing room, but if Jeremy Jordan has his own dressing room, you have to have your own dressing room too.
Yeah.
That's how it works because they're billed the same. So.
But then that means that there might be less dressing rooms to go around, which means everyone on the second line would all have to share. Yeah.
So on the second line was me, Rob and Scott.
Yeah.
Say Scott got his own dressing room and me and Rob were sharing, that's a no-no.
Yeah, your agent would never let that happen.
Yeah, you would all have to share or get your own.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. So the top two, or the top one, because there's always, in a big theatre, there's always a lot of dressing rooms. So your top bills will always have their own dressing rooms.
Yeah.
It's just as it filters down, depending how big the theatre is and how big the ensemble is when it gets hard.
Yeah.
And so that's negotiated and sort of signed on, like when you sign your contract, so months before. So I think like the wording is something like, we'll endeavour, you know,
to do our best, An example as well of like the dressing room situation when there aren't really enough dressing rooms. The old Queen's Theatre, it used to be Valjean had his own dressing room, but Javert and Thénardier would have to share because Valjean was the only cast member who had his own dressing room because there just weren't enough dressing rooms to go around.
Yeah.
But then when they renovated, there was suddenly an extra dressing room that used to be the LX office. And so then Thénardier and Javert were split, and Thénardier, Valjean and Javert all got their own dressing rooms. Because then all of a sudden, instead of 2 dressing rooms, there were 3.
And I think, is that the reason as well, do you think all the girls are in the same one? Just because, say for example, Fantine had her own dressing room.
Yeah, because then you'd need 4 dressing rooms.
Then it'd be like, the other girls would be like, well, where's my dressing room?
And also just because of Les Mis, with the nature that Les Mis is, all the female roles aren't hugely prominent in the show. Like, whilst Fantine and Eponine and Cosette are like very big parts, they're nowhere near, like they don't even scratch the surface of what Javert and Jean Valjean have to do. So I don't think Les Mis will ever be a show. Oh, well, I guess when we were in Dubai, I got my own dressing room, but that was because there were like 400 dressing rooms and everyone could have had their own dressing room if they wanted.
The next process is that we've arrived at the theatre, but maybe a day or a week before, the company manager has been there and assigned dressing rooms as well as you can.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're in a massive theatre, it's really easy to keep everyone happy, but sometimes you're not. Like Adam's family, when we were in Truro, was it?
Yeah.
You and Sam had to share.
Yeah.
Because you just have to.
There just weren't enough dressing rooms.
Yeah.
I've got a really good story though, but it's not my story, so I'm going to try and hide the name of the show and the name of the person. But I know someone who went into the theatre the day before we were all supposed to get there, just to be like cheeky and just to have a look around. Didn't go into any of the dressing rooms, but like was wandering around just to find out where their dressing room was. And they had their own dressing room and they were like, oh, amazing, like that's what me and my agent were hoping for, got my own dressing room, brilliant. And suddenly when we were there the next day, all the dressing rooms had changed and this person was now sharing with 2 or 3 other people because the company manager had taken their dressing room for themselves. And they were instantly like, hey, agent, hi, yeah, I had my own dressing room yesterday and now I don't because now it belongs to the company manager. And it was because the company manager would have had to have had an office below stage.
So?
I know, and instead they took a dressing room. They took a dressing room.
I love company managers, but stuff like that does annoy me.
Especially because it was lucky, because had this person not gone in and seen the layout beforehand, they probably would have just accepted it.
Yeah.
But because they knew what it should have been, and then how it had been changed to benefit the company manager.
That is so awkward. And finally, the final question from the lovely email was, have you ever shared with someone who you didn't really get on with?
No.
No?
I don't think so, no. I think after a while you learn other people's like quirks, and I don't know, I feel like anyone that you share with, you share with them for like a year. So eventually you're gonna find something about anyone that sort of grates on your nerves or annoys you a little bit. But I've never shared a dressing room with someone who I'm like, you are a terrible person, or we just point blank do not get along. Like, I feel like my dressing rooms have always been a pretty calm affair.
Yeah, mine's been pretty like fine. It was hard in Mormon because we weren't always on. So like your respite is doing the show. So just sitting in a room, you can leave the dressing room, you can walk around the theatre or whatever and go downstairs and chat to people. Go like substage and chat in the quick change area to your mates, whatever. But it's exaggerated because you are just in a room with 5 other guys if you're all not on, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just sat there like, and the swing room's always really small. So things we did to sort of help the situation, we got wheelie chairs, which sounds really stupid, but because the room was so small, you could wheel right under, so there'd be like more room in the middle. And like someone's like, oh, can you just get past? You don't have to be like, you got your chair. You're just like, yay. So we got like wheelie chairs. It was fine, really. I got on with everyone. There was like moments where it got too much and they had to leave.
Yeah, because that's just what happens when you spend that amount of time around people, especially in a swing room where usually if you weren't a swing, you'd be you'd have that break of going on stage and being around other people.
Yeah, because there was one point where I was getting ready for a show. See, that's the thing as well. This is the thing when you're in a swing room. I was always on, just the way that covering was. I was like, well, not always on, but I averaged like 4 to 5 shows a week as a swing, which is crazy. I did over half, which is mental. Because I'm always on, and people aren't, they were just doing their thing. So they would like maybe start painting.
Yeah.
So they'd have all the paintbrushes out and washing them in the sink while I'm trying to brush my teeth to get ready.
Yeah.
So it's like you're on different schedules. So you do get like, hey mate, can I get to the sink? Because I'm on in 5 minutes and I need to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh sorry mate. With his like makeup brushes, washing them. Or like everyone's getting ready for a night out that night because they know they're not on.
Yeah.
So doing their hair, get like ironing or whatever, and you're like, yeah, I just need to grab a jacket.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. So you gotta go like, you just gotta hold your tongue and go like, I can't blow, I can't have a go. But there was one time, and I love the boys in Warman, I don't think they'll be watching this, but like, they created this thing called a Mad Drag Night, which is a drag night for Mad Trust, which is a charity. And they sort of created it, and it's done really well the last 5-6 years. So like loads of West End performers drag up, put this amazing show on and raise a lot of money. But one time I was getting changed and all of them would like go into the drag night. So they're all in the makeup, dresses, and then there was more people in the room because they were getting ready because one of our guys who's amazing at makeup in our room was doing other people's makeup. And I just looked about and I was like, I need to get out of this room because I can't get changed.
Yeah.
So I just grabbed all my stuff and they could sort of see me and went, Ollie, we'll stop. And I was like, no, it's all right, you just carry on.
Yeah.
I went down to the ensemble boy room and I went, boys, can I get changed in there? Because it is crazy upstairs. But yeah, I never really watched Gold it, like, had a bad time. But it's hard, it is hard. It's definitely harder when you're a swing, I think, to keep the balance right.
Yeah.
What used to annoy me as well is that I'd be on like Wi-Fi on my iPad watching YouTube videos or something. And it used to like just freeze because the Wi-Fi in theatres is always terrible.
So,
so I was like, oh my god, it's froze. I turn around, everyone's watching something on YouTube or something, on Netflix. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know if it was where I sat or anything, but that used to tilt me so much, because then I'd be like, Right, well that was that. Dressing rooms, where you live, where you spend all your time.
Home away from home.
Home away from home. Right, time for the song segment. If you don't want this to play on your Alexa in the corner, go mute it.
Or mute us.
Or mute us. Right, here we go. Alexa, play Babel by Mumford & Sons. Love this song. Goodbye everyone, be safe out there. Don't jump on a bouncy castle if you're not invited to the party. Bye!